I now want to introduce someone who really does genuinely need no introduction. You would have heard John this morning, John McDonnell this morning, giving a fantastic presentation. His speech was an inspiration to so many, not just in this hall, of course, but to millions of people out there across our country and further afield as well, laying out a vision, an anti-austerity vision for our party, and how incredibly proud I was to be sitting in the audience along with yourselves to listen to that. Waging a war not on Syria, but on poverty and on unemployment and on homelessness and on injustice, unfairness and inequality, by growing our economy and challenging the very concept of austerity as an economic theory. John McDonnell.
I'll be extremely brief because I'm supposed to be doing a few other things as well. As you can, it's been a relatively quiet day. Let me just say this to you, and this is the serious intent in this coming period. What we've done this week, we've transformed the Labour Party into an anti-austerity movement. We're no longer just an individual voice crying in the wilderness, and that's what we were in Parliament for a short period of time, Jeremy and I. You know, I spoke at Jeremy's 30th anniversary in Parliament and said, you know, Jeremy's my closest friend in Parliament. As my wife said, he's your only friend in Parliament. What happened this week, to be frank, some time ago I never thought was possible, and I don't think any of you did. It wasn't just the election of Jeremy with such a huge mandate, it was the transformation of the politics within the Labour Party itself. At this conference we've got 3,000 extra observers that they didn't have only a few weeks ago. We've put on 170,000 members, 70,000 since Jeremy was elected. We're no longer just a small organisational form to electoral machine to get MPs elected and to be dictated to by a leadership. We are now a movement, and a genuine democratic movement. And that's really the next step forward. We've got to maintain the momentum of this struggle, and it is a struggle. What will happen after this conference? Jeremy will go on the stomp all around the country again. We all will. There'll be meetings right round the country that will discussing the politics of anti-austerity. We want people to share their experiences of what austerity means in their community. And then from that, we want to leave behind after those meetings people coming together through the Labour Party and supporters and others to organise then the real campaigns in each of those communities. And the campaigns will be about literally campaigning against every aspect of austerity that's implemented within those communities. And in those campaigns, which will be in terms of elections for council, the parliamentary procedures that will be coming up as well, and the strikes and direct action. I know the Daily Mail will report this, don't worry. In those campaigns, we want to also develop the discussion, not just about what we're opposed to, but also the sort of community and society that we want to construct. And we want to do that. We want to permeate the whole of civil society with this debate and the discussion. We want to lift people's hope, because actually the one word that was used throughout Jeremy's campaign, this was a campaign of hope that we never had before. So in those discussions, it is about how would you like your community to be in 5, 10, 15 years? How do we supply the homes, the roofs over people's heads, the public services that we need? How do we also engage in the democratic process of how we determine our own futures at every level, whether it's in the community, whether it's in the company, or wherever? And I think that's the debate that we've now got to have. And I think this is such an exciting period, a really exciting period that people want to involve themselves in. There'll be cynics, and so this will just peter out because the momentum won't be maintained. I think they've got that completely wrong. We keep on talking about new politics, and I think that's what we're introducing now into the whole discourse, political discourse within this country. But we all actually bear responsibility for this. It isn't just now attending conference, attending meetings, etc. We all on our shoulders now have a responsibility for the next stage in the organisation, the momentum of this meeting. So when you go back from this conference, What I'd like you to do is talk to other comrades, brothers and sisters within your communities about how you start organising an anti-austerity debate and discussion within your community, and then also how you start organising effectively what is a resistance movement now. And that means absolute solidarity. The view now, straightforwardly, and I tell you this, if there's industrial action taking place, we should automatically come alongside our brothers and sisters in the trade unions to support them. Yeah. Time and time again. Time and time again, within the Labour Party hierarchy, there's been a hesitancy about this. I think we've got to break that hesitancy and give people confidence and courage and determination to start standing up now. I'm the Shadow Chancellor, but actually the most important role I play is I'm the chair of the PCS Parliamentary Group. I've been involved in more disputes, thanks to Mark Serwotka, since I've been the chair of that group than in my whole existence. And why is that, do you think? Why is that? It's because this is one of those unions that have stood up and said we're not taking it anymore. They've gone to their members, they've organised effectively, they've balloted, and yes, they've launched some of the most important struggles to protect our public services that we've seen in recent decades. And to be frank, I'm proud to be associated, because my role, whether on Parliament or on the picket line, is to support workers in struggle. That's what the role of a Labour MPs is going to be in the future. It isn't just to vote in Parliament. I just say this finally. In the discussions that we launched this morning about the future of our economy, I think there's real opportunities that we've got of engaging people actually that we've not engaged with before. Owen was talking to us ages ago about there's a huge army of self-employed people out there now, not related to any trade union at the moment, but actually some of the most exploited people in the country. We've got to start recognising if we're building a movement, they're the sorts of people who may not be traditionally associated with us we need to bring into this debate. There are people out there who in the past may not have been classified as workers, but actually work harder than most of us, and they're called carers. We need to ensure that we bring them into this debate, listen to their demands, give them the support, and that they become a trade union labour movement issue as much as anything else. We're broadening the basis of our support. What for? For radical change. This is not some slight movement to the left that's happened in the Labour Party over the last few weeks. This is a radical change. We're now a radical party again. It's going back to our grassroots. It's though Keir Hardie was back here again. Finally, you know what's been happening to Jeremy in particular, and a bit me. The media have just gone at him, at his family, and every attempt to smear him in every way possible has happened. And that's happened to every Labour leader that stood up and fought against the establishment. So in this coming period, part of the austerity campaign will be to defend Jeremy Corbyn's regime within the Labour Party and to defend Jeremy Corbyn. And we're doing it in the style of Jeremy Corbyn. We attack no one. We do not in any way want to exclude anyone from this party. Everybody is welcome. We want everybody now engaged. Whether we disagree or agree, it's important that we encourage democratic debate. And at the end of it, it is about solidarity based upon comradeship. I say finally again, when I spoke to Mark during this year, I said that we needed three things in this struggle now. One is absolute determination. Absolute determination. We're not going away and we're going to win. Secondly, we need courage. Sometimes when you're on your own, you're isolated, you just have to stand up and do the right thing, and that takes courage. So we need people to be courageous in this. But above all else, what we need is what we learnt 2 centuries ago in the first workshops of the Industrial Revolution, or in the fields. We've discovered a secret. The secret was solidarity. We put it in our banners, unity is strength. So above all else, comrades, brothers and sisters, we need solidarity. Solidarity.